It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we got a can of Counterculture, Stone and Woods Counterculture. This is the Holy Grain Honey Toasted Hazy IPA. It's a 500ml can coming in at 6.2% ABV. Probably got a Monty Python theme to this. Australian craft beer. Thank you very much to Travis in Australia for sending me the beer. Without further ado, let's get this can out into a glass and see what we get. I've really enjoyed the previous Counterculture beers that we've had from Stone and Wood. They've been really good. But this sounds great. A honey toasted IPA. Wow. So it's very important to get all of the beer, give the last inch of beer a little whirl round in the can, dump it into your glass. It's very important because a lot of that flavour, gravity will send it to the bottom of the can, get it washed up in the can, get it in your glass. You're going to add to the flavour of the beer. It's nice and hazy, relatively clear at the bottom. But then as we work down the glass, you've got a hazy looking beer, good levels of carbonation, 1 to 2 finger white head. Straw coloured beer, straw coloured IPA. Let's get the aroma on the beer then. Oh, smells good. It's really hoppy, lemony, like a lemon curd. But then you get that sweet honey. Orange, lemon, a little bit of spiciness. I think the toasted flavour might come through more in the flavour, in the taste of the beer rather than the aroma. Let's dive in. Cheers everybody. Ooh, it's a sweet one. That lemon curd, that lemon meringue flavour, that carries on from start to finish. Lemon meringue all the way through. As I'm speaking now, I'm picking up a little bit of bitterness on the beer. Ooh, this is more of a sweet one. Just bigging up the Counterculture series of beers from Stone and Wood. And then I get one that, personally, for me, I'm just struggling with the sweetness. I'm just struggling with a little bit of the sweetness on the beer. It's very tart. It's like, I say lemon meringue, but it's also got a kind of crustiness to it, like the crust on a pie. And that is that toastiness that they're talking about. So fair play for what they've done here, I think. And I think it's very important that brewers do this, is that they sit with the marketing team and they describe to the marketing team what they're tasting, what they should be tasting, and then leave it up to the marketing team to kind of come up with a flavour for the beer or a name for the beer. I know in some regional breweries in the UK, the brewers over here and the marketing departments are like different ends of the building, and they kind of never talk to each other, they never kind of like interact. And you can tell that by some of the beers that they produce. At least with Stone and Wood, you can tell that they're in the same room. The brewer and the marketing team are in the same room. They're talking to one another. They're saying, hey, look, this is what you should be tasting. This is what you need to be writing on the side of the can. So fair play on those aspects of the beer. I'm just quite... I shut out most sugars from my life about 8 years ago. I used to have 2 sugars in my coffee. When I was younger than that, I used to push sugar all over my Weetabix. But I made a conscious effort to get as much sugar as I could out of my diet. Even to the point now where I drink soya milk, and found that difficult for a few months. Finally got round to having soya milk in my coffee, and I can kind of like just bear with it now. I can get on with it. But I've had milk since in my coffee. Bear with me, I am making sense. And it tastes like cheese. Honestly, put milk in your coffee. If you haven't had milk in your coffee for a few months, and your coffee will taste cheesy. It's a bit like the Italians and the Europeans, where they kind of can't understand how we have milk in our tea. But going back to it, here's the point. Because I've cut out so much sweetness from my life, my palate now is like, whoa, this is sweet. It may be something to do with the honey. You can definitely pick up a nice honey taste in here. But I prefer a little bit more of a hoppy flavour, if I'm perfectly honest. I would prefer more of like a mango, a passion fruit, a grapefruit, rather than the kind of crustiness, the honey, the sweet lemon meringue pie flavours that this beer's offering. A lot of people will like this. Trust me, a lot of people will like this beer. It's just a little bit too sweet for me. The Holy Grain Honey Toasted Hazy IPA. Hear ye, hear ye, good night of the breakfast table. It is 10 o'clock in the morning, look. What is your quest? Do you seek delicious toasted flavours, a golden nectar reminiscent of morning? Then thou shalt halt thy quest. You have reached the Holy Grain. Aromatic and golden, this honey toasted hazy IPA layers additions of honey, vanilla and toasted coconut upon a pale malt, wheat and oak backbone, hopped with Sabro Galaxy Citra and HBC 472 for a velvety and wholesome finish. You have proven yourself worthy, or thyself worthy. Good nights. Now enjoy their blessed beer. Here's to the Holy Grain, the 10th limited release of counterculture beers that go against the grain. So toasted coconut, oats and vanilla. Get the vanilla now. Get a little bit of the toasted coconut now. It's a funny one. It's definitely a funny one. The Sabro hop as well gives a kind of like a slight coconutty flavour as well. A natural coconutty flavour. I wanted to love it. I really wanted to love it. I mean this. A lot of people will like this beer. An awful lot of people will like this beer. It's just a bit too sweet for me. So for that reason, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom. Cheers.